The main floor inside the Gryffindor Tower is filled with books and Quidditch equipment and brooms and owls and all kinds of detail items. The side door of the tower is shaped in the side door of the tower is in a circular shape, and that has allowed for the windows to give the sills lots of access for lots of items. The sills are filled with things like blue Cornish pixies and bottles of unusual potion things and mice in cups or halfway turned to cups and all kinds of other unusual items. There are knitted items all over the entire tower because it appears that Hermione has been busy knitting. Now, of course, there's candy and food everywhere because children live here. Now, in addition, if you look closely in the fireplace here, very closely, you see Sirius Black's head. This has an interesting story. There was a young man here who came to see all of the miniatures, and he said, well, Gryffindor Tower needs Sirius Black's head in the fireplace, and I realized he was right, so I made it happen. The side door to Gryffindor Tower is right here, and through this door, on the other side, you end up actually in the main hall, and we'll see that view when we come around to side 4. This view is the balcony on the main floor. It has a wonderful Gryffindor hanging banner. It has a wonderful ghost, and we have Dobby. Dobby is in multiple hats because Hermione has been busy knitting. And here we have a ghost who's peeking around yet another corner out of a cupboard. So we have cupboards and ghosts and all kinds of interesting characters on this main Gryffindor floor. There's the view for the whole floor. One level up, we see the boys' dorm. The boys' dorm is filled with Quidditch paraphernalia, and then if we look closely, we have the invisibility cloak. We have a sweater on the bed with an R on it. Here is the R for Ronald, and then of course we have mail, and we have all kinds of other items that are for the boys' rooms, as well as knitted items. Now if we go one set up further, we have the girls' dorm. The girls' dorm is just as elaborate, but not very well seen from the lower level, so this is the best view we're going to have of the girls' dorm. It has knitted items, it has trunks, it has a castle there on the side, so there are just lots of items here in the dorm. The main hall curved window has an interesting three-dimensional picture, as does most every door and most every piece within the castle itself. But here is an example of one of the three-dimensional pictures. As we move back down, we look at the stairwell that leads back down from the dorms, and we notice that we have blue Cornish pixies and cages and other items such as this flying key that seems to have been lodged in the stairwell. We're going to move along from this stairwell, back through, back out, past the Whomping Willow to the third side of the castle. The first tower in this third side contains 4 levels. The highest level is is Professor Trelawney's tower, and then moving down this entire 2 floors is actually the restricted area of the library, and down here is the room of requirement. The room of requirement started out as the Death Day Party room. However, as Harry Potter has evolved, so the rooms have needed to evolve. So at the suggestion of my daughter, this room became the room of requirement, and by turning a lazy Susan, we are able to move from Professor McGonagall to Mad-Eye Moody. And so we have a room of requirement that does indeed change as the requirements change. Again, here we have a 3D picture on this curved wall. Moving up from the room of requirement, we have one of my favorite rooms, although there are a lot of favorites for me, but this is the restricted area of the library. And I had a great deal of fun putting this room together. Erica Van Horn and several other people helped, and then I came up with some ideas that I thought were wonderful. There is the Teresa Dudley Quick Quote Quill, but there are books here that were just plain fun for me to do, and books with ears, because you never know what a book hears, books with faces, books with feet, because we all know books walk away sometimes, books with eyes, because books see and tell us things, really fun, wonderful things. So I thought I came up with some wonderful things to represent the wonderful library. All the bookshelves are curved and they are packed. And then directly above that is Flitwick, who is actually also in this room. And this is packed, but look carefully in this mirror in this cupboard for just a moment, because you're about to see the boggart, and the boggart comes and the boggart goes, and that's maybe the most fun thing. This is really fun. There is a boggart in this closet. Here we see him appearing, and if you watch carefully, he's going to disappear here. So there he goes. This silver shimmering ladder leads up to Trelawney's classroom. We are able to see her in the shadows with all her poofs and books and teacups and crystal balls, and you'll notice there's a blue Cornish pixie that snuck out. She also has a 3-dimensional picture on her wall right there, and a full fireplace with fire going. So this is also a very busy room with lots of items that are just plain fun. This is the back side of the main hall with a view of the Fat Lady door for Harry Potter to get through, and if you look carefully here, we're going to see Harry standing out there. And then we have Nearly Headless Nick. We have some interesting pictures, and then of course we have the back side of Dumbledore, which we've already seen. Below the main hall on this side is Professor Snape's dungeon, and you can see, looking close up, that it is packed with all kinds of items and odd things, spilled potions, lots of cauldrons filled with things, and a wonderful sink. Here, let's see if we can get it for you, made by Rick Pierce. Here we have back in the corner Professor Snape himself monitoring what his students are doing. You'll notice every table is a mess, and every table has instructions and cauldrons and special potions on it. This room is really another one that's just packed with items. And if you look here, the columns and the entire piece looks very authentic. Once again, Rick did a beautiful job. And of course we do have, again, a 3-dimensional piece here.